to up, but can't let go. No one knows I'm here. No one knows I'm here. That's typical. See my mama crying in the clinic.
I just want to preface this by saying the goal with this is not to 100% replicate it. I spent pretty much 5 hours on this. Quad probably spends 20 plus easily on each of his songs, and he plays 8 instruments, and he uses Logic, and he has like money and equipment, so this is not gonna be like a perfectly accurate representation. I'm gonna do this a little strangely. So first I'm just gonna show you like just the project. 91 tracks, which really isn't that many for this type of music. I played guitar and a little bit of keyboard, but I'm not very good at either of them, so I kind of covered it up. So first I'm gonna start with the section inspired by the first track on I Didn't Mean to Haunt You, and it starts out with this analog lab Mellotron sound, and it's just playing this simple motif, just doing a 4-1 chord progression, and it sounds like this. And in the background, to add to that, I have an ocean ambience and a rain ambience. This is just supposed to be spacey, and it's just a little motif. It sets the key, sets the tempo, and sets like the basic foundation of the song for me to build on. And then I bring in 2 risers to come into the next section. Holy fucking shit, that's beautiful.
This is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life.
So I'm gonna start off with the background sounds, which are mainly these background vocals here. Pro tip to anyone watching this, do not start producing on FL. If you haven't started yet and this video is inspiring you to start, for the love of your own sanity, do not use FL. Alright, anyway. These are the background vocals. So, Quad likes to do a lot of falsetto, like choir type vocals in the background. My issue is that I cannot sing falsetto to save my life. I sound like I'm doing an Elmo impression, and it just doesn't work out very well. So what I did is I just pitched it up an octave and reverbed them out really strong. I just have limiter, auto-tune, and a radio EQ on most of these. Like some of them, I just mix them all different, like their own sound, and I have them routed to this bus with a 100% vintage verb just on the default preset. Just makes them really spacey. And then I add and what this is, if I turn off the plugin, this is me very poorly singing falsetto. I just have a noise gate, RVox, waves tune, decapitator just to give it more harmonic, an EQ really boosting this high mid so that it stands out with the other choirs, and then a limiter making sure it doesn't peak. And the sauce is Waves Harmony Engine. I just have it on the majestic pumps, and this is just like a little background pad type of thing. It's not really that big in the main sound of it. The more important sounds are this sound right here. This is another Analog Lab preset, the Synthwave Split preset, which I think sounds a lot like the brass sound on the first track to I Didn't Mean to Haunt You. So what I did, I just played this very simple pattern, which I'll get into in a second. But the main sauce is this channel automation and reverb automation. So this is just automating the volume, and without it, it sounds like this. And then I add it. And it just gives it like the sound of like a conductor like shaking his hands, you know? And what I do here is I add the second of this first chord, which turns into the third on the second chord, and that just gives it a very nice. Damn, some people are fucking hard right now. Jesus Christ. Anyway, so I add the second, which turns into the third, which then like just goes into a different melody, but it gives nice tension and release. And on this sound, I have the default vintage verb preset again, just turned down quite a bit. An EQ taking out quite a bit of the high treble, which is just unnecessary. Then a limiter making sure it's not peaking. Next, I also still have the original motif from the intro section still playing. Next, I bring in another Analog Lab preset. Now I bring in the same Analog Lab preset as the horns, but it's a split preset, so anything under C. So if I put a note here, it sounds like that. If I put a note here, it sounds like that. So this bass sound comes in and just walks down. And at the very end, I add in this Mellotron flute. Just sounds very spooky, limiter just to see where the level's at. And then now it comes into the first verse.
Feel like my eyes are frozen closed, forced to look but can't let go. No one knows I'm here, no one.
I still have the same brass sound, and it's just playing a really simple melody. And the bass sound still following the bass. And still got the ARP. But here I'm introducing the main vocals.
Feel like my eyes are frozen closed, forced to look but can't let go.
So I'm gonna do what I always do, play the raw vocals and then go through the whole chain.
Feel like my eyes are frozen closed, forced to look but can't let go.
So yeah, it's pretty bad. Got Arvox, easy vocal, Waves tune on a pretty slow note transition, and Decapitator on the classic rock, but I have it turned way down. And then this is the sauce, the Cymatics Origin. Some of these presets sound so much like what he used. It probably isn't, but it sounds so much like it. So without it,
feel like my eyes are
and with it.
feel like my eyes are frozen closed.
Then I've got an EQ taking out the sub and boosting this high mid, and a fruity limiter just checking the level. And I have it routed to a vintage verb, and I also have it routed to this delay. And this delay has an automation clip right here to only come in between phrases, especially on this go. And it just adds so much more impact to this little part right here.
Can't let go.
And the other thing adding impact here is this serum bass. And this bass is a pretty two-hollis sound. I got the envelope routed to the saw rounded, and a filter with the drive all the way up, distortion, maxed out plate reverb, and a filter. Like a real nice soft low impact. And now for the drop.
I'm here, no one knows I'm here, that's typical. See my mama crying in the clinical. Said, try to write my note but the paper's full. 7 years waiting for, now that the time has stopped, I can wait for.
In this part, I still have the brass going, still have the bass, still have the ARP. But I changed the ARP preset and rhythm here. So instead of doing eighth notes, it's doing dotted notes. And I bring in this organ. I just have an EQ, just bell curving it. And then I bring in another organ, which once again just adds to the spook. And you just want to bring in a lot of sounds that only come in once or twice. Just little sprinkles, rather than just having the same 4-bar loop that you're arranging differently. Just make something new for every section. Keep some parts there and other parts just keep changing. And then I have another organ with some micro shift and a parametric EQ. And I have this kind of laser lead. And here I bring in guitar. This once again is using Cymatic's Origin without it. And with it, just gives it that really wide chorus. EQ cleaning it up in a stereo shaper to put it in both ears. That's all for the melodies. So now for the drums. So the main sound here is this huge 808. And I just have this completely dry, it's just a great sound. I started the whole drum section with this loop. And I just added from there. I just have a bunch of different sound effects, layered snares. Like if I broke down every single drum sound here, this would be like a half-hour video. I've just got glitches, different 808 sounds. And right here, I have an export of the main pattern that I just have stuttering with the glitch. And impact sweep, sound effects. You just want to fill in every little space with something. Something weird, something glitchy, something sparkly. And I also have this riser that comes in. It's a pretty weird sound. And then I have 2 more 808s that come in. And that's about all for this section. Now for the next section.
Gonna waterfall, gonna waterfall, gonna waterfall.
Once again, still got the brass, and I've just been building up this entire time, and now it hits its high point right here. I add this glockenspiel from Spitfire Labs. This like really sparkly key sound from June 6. And this sound is just so good. It's so good.
Gonna waterfall.
I bring in the Spitfire Labs cello. And that's about all for the section's melody. I also bring in the sound effect, which sounds a lot like a phone ringing, but through like distorted space-time. And that really adds to this drop.
Gonna waterfall.
So now for the ballad section.
Drop another tear. See you in a year or two.
So I have the serum bass from before with the plate reverb playing with this Spitfire Labs piano that's just playing broken chords and this little melody. This sound has hyperchorus and delay for the reverb. So then I bring in these three sounds. This tension sound, this riser, and this piano. And they all blend into this nice tension into this next section. And then I have a cymbal transition just to fully get it into the next section. And then now we have the Tell Me a Joke section.
Feel like my eyes are frozen, forced to look but can't let go. No one knows.
So first, let's start with the drums. So these drums are made up of a couple different sounds. First, this Spitfire Labs drum kit. And this is just the open hat. And I have CLA drums on it. And then I have this cashmere closed hat. And also the rhythm changes here to be all triplets, so it feels like 3/4. Then I just layer the kick, bring in more snares, and this extra snare that comes in here, it's a little quieter, is something he does a lot in these 3/4 drum sections. But if you count it, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And in addition to that, I have this serum bass that comes in. And it's just distorted as hell. I bring in the brass. I bring in the same bass from before. Same ARP from before, same lead, same organ, same other organ. It's muted. Same laser lead. Same little sound effect. Same other lead. But I add this guitar, which is just drop D tuning me strumming pretty poorly. And on this, I have CLA guitars on the Telewolf preset, and then an EQ just cutting the sub. And for the vocals, same thing as before, and I have the delay automation coming in.
Let go.
And if I could, I'd be like screaming this part, but I have to be quiet. That's all for this section. And then for the end, just have a ballad, copy paste the same ballad section from over here.
Drop another tear.
And I keep this Analog Lab brass sound so that I can automate it out and just let it fade instead of cutting. It lets it transition nicely to the next section. So that's all. This FLP will be on my Patreon. Thank you.
Feel like my eyes are frozen closed, forced to look but can't let go. No one knows I'm here. No one knows I'm here. That's typical. See my mama crying in the clinical. Said I tried to write my note but the paper's full. 7 years waiting for, now that the time is still, I cannot wait for. Gonna waterfall, gonna waterfall, gonna waterfall, gonna waterfall down, gonna waterfall, gonna waterfall, now that the time is still.